Are you affected by the short-term rental ban or looking to invest in short-term rental on Maui? Then this video is for you. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel where we are diving in the latest in Maui real estate and help you make informed decisions about property investments here on Maui. My name is Chaston and I'm a local real estate agent on Maui. Super excited to have you back on my channel. Today, we're tackling a huge topic, the new short-term rental ban, also known as SB 2919, and how it's shaking up Maui's real estate market. Stick around and we'll go over about what this bill means for homeowners, investors, and renters, and we'll weigh out the pros and cons. Let's get right into it. All right, so let's start with the basics. SB 2919 was introduced to regulate and restrict short-term vacation rentals, especially those operating outside designated hotel zones. The main idea here is to keep residential neighborhoods less transient by limiting who can run short-term rentals and where they're allowed. This primarily affects properties in areas zoned as apartments instead of hotel. You'll see A1, A2, and H1, H2. Why is this happening? Well, Hawaii has long faced a housing crisis with a growing demand for affordable housing. Lawmakers are hoping that by curbing short-term rentals, more housing will be available for locals rather than tourists. Short-term rentals often take up a significant portion of housing stock, contributing to higher housing costs and making it difficult for residents to find places to live. Let's take a look at some numbers. To understand the context, as of last year, Maui has around 8,000 short-term rentals, most concentrated in popular tourist towns like Kihei, Lahaina, and Paia. However, many of these rentals operate in residential areas rather than designated hotel zones, leading to concerns among local communities about noise, traffic, and neighborhood disruptions. With this ban, short-term rentals are now restricted to designated hotel zones like Kihei and parts of Lahaina, Ka'anapoli, and Kapalua. Owners in residential areas who were previously renting out their properties on platforms like Airbnb and VRBO will be heavily affected as they now face hefty fines if they continue these operations. Let's talk about some potential benefits this bill can bring. Increased housing availability. By restricting short-term rentals, there's a hope that more long-term rental options will become available to primary residents. In theory, this could reduce competition between tourists and residents, making it easier for Maui residents to secure affordable housing. Number two that I think is potential for stabilized home prices. One of the reasons Maui's real estate prices have skyrocketed in the last 5 years is due to demand from investors buying properties solely to operate as short-term rentals from the mainland and from out of state. With these restrictions, the market might see a leveling off of prices, allowing more local residents to enter the housing market without having to compete with an out-of-state investor. Number three I want to bring up is preservation of local communities. A huge motivation behind SB 2919 is to protect Maui's local communities. By limiting short-term rentals through hotel zones only, the hope is to keep residential areas more focused on community and family with fewer transient guests moving in and out. But of course, there are always two sides of every story. So let's take a look at some potential drawbacks. Many Maui residents and investors rely on short-term rental income to offset high mortgage costs. For some property owners, switching in long-term rentals could lead to a significant drop in income, as long-term rentals often yield less profit than vacation rentals. For example, if a two-bedroom condo in Kihei generates about $5,000 to $6,000 a month from short-term rentals, a long-term lease might only bring in $3,500 a month, making it tough for some owners to justify keeping that property. My second point is decreased tourism revenue. Maui's economy depends heavily on tourism. According to the Maui Economic Development Board, tourism brought in about $4 billion last year, with vacation rentals contributing a sizable portion. Reducing short-term rentals could lead to a reduction in accommodation options, pushing some tourists to stay on other islands or even off Maui entirely. My third point I want to bring up is enforcing the ban can be tricky, as evidenced by similar laws on Oahu where unlicensed short-term rentals are still prevalent. Additionally, some property owners may find creative ways to bypass that ban, potentially leading to ongoing legal and administrative challenges. Now let's go over some real-life examples to illustrate how SB 2919 is affecting both homeowners and communities on Maui. My first example, the struggling property investor. So, story time. Take John, a property investor from California, who bought a condo in Lahaina with the idea of using it as a short-term rental. For John, the new legislation has put a significant dent in his revenue model, as he was relying on high occupancy rates for short-term rentals to cover his mortgage and high HOA fees. Now he's considering selling the property, as a long-term lease won't meet his financial goals. Next story time, the impact on a primary resident renter. Let's look at Sarah. She's a Maui resident, born and raised on Maui, who has been searching for an affordable place to live on the island. With the ban, there's potential for more properties to become available for long-term rentals, meaning Sarah may soon have more housing options in her price range. Early data is showing a slight uptick in available housing rentals since the bill was passed, though it's still too early to tell if it'll create significant price drops. While it's still early for SB 2919, the bill could have far-reaching implications for the island's real estate market. As more properties transition from short-term to long-term rentals, we might see the residential rental market stabilize, possibly even leading to more affordable housing options for primary residents. Certain areas that were previously hotbeds for short-term rentals could see a decrease in demand, leading to a cooling of property prices. Investors are now reconsidering where they buy, focusing more on designated hotel zones. So what's the verdict on the 2919 bill? Well, like many things in real estate, it depends on your perspective. For some homeowners, this bill is a financial blow, especially if they counted on short-term rentals to make their investments viable. But for local primary residents and those who've been priced out of the housing market, the new bill represents a step towards more affordable living on Maui. Only time will tell how effective the new bill will be achieving its goals. In the meantime, if you are a property owner or looking to invest in Maui real estate, it's essential to stay informed and adapt to this ever-evolving market. So thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future updates on Maui real estate. And as always, if you have any questions or need help navigating the market here, feel free to reach out. Until next time, thanks. Okay, bye.